Welcome back, everyone. I'm the Bad Luck Gamer, and today we bring you a very different kind of video than we normally produce here on the channel. That's right. Today we're doing a discussion video. Before we get into that, though, I just want to say if you haven't been watching a lot of the videos recently, thank you for everyone who's helped support the channel this last couple weeks. I've been asking and begging for likes, comments, subscribes, whatever, and it's really nice to see a lot of people chip in to really help the channel out. It really means a lot to me, and so you're absolved. This week, you do not need to do any of the requests that I make of you. I won't make requests. It's just, thank you for watching. Enjoy the content. So, back to what I was saying a second ago. This is not a standard type of video that we normally do here on the channel. I have been looking for different ways to kind of expand the breadth of the content. And a lot of people have some good ideas, but some kinds of content work and some kinds of content don't work. And I think a lot what people want to see, especially on this channel, I get a lot of GMs who come and see this content, which is great. I love GMs. I'm a GM myself. I GM all the time. But they're the minority when it comes to viewership in general. So it's just something that I can't really focus on GM focused content. There's tons of channels out there who already do that. We'll leave it to them. On this channel, I just want to talk about things that involve everyone, involve the players mostly. But today we're going to talk about something I want to talk about, which is I hate level ups. I've said it. Now everyone's going to look at me like I'm some heretic. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy leveling up. I enjoy expanding my character's abilities. I like getting new abilities. I love all that kind of stuff. Don't get it twisted. I hate the bing level up kind of leveling systems. They're super inorganic, and oftentimes they're very immersion breaking. Now, before anyone starts making any comments, too late. Before you do, though, I want to say this can be remedied by the GM and the player and by what they do to prevent it. If you want your character's level ups to feel more organic, you can have RP that they are working to level stuff up. They're working to improve, learn new spells, yada, yada, yada. Cool. I get that. The systems don't do it, and they can, and there are games out there who have very sensible, logical leveling systems that really make your character's growth feel actually like you're progressing rather than just hitting new milestones. This also comes with another problem as well. A lot of games can't do like organic leveling up because it gets the power scaling out of effect. In fact, so many GMs in D&D move over to capstone or milestone that XP is no longer even a factor. It's just about when they feel it's necessary for the party to go to the next level. And this is a fault of systems that don't have good horizontal leveling. So, all right, I'm not gonna sit here and describe this to you all like your children, right? Let's just talk about what I hate about it. I hate the inorganicness. I hate that the systems don't provide any of this for players. And I really dislike how easy it is to just be like, oh, hey guys, look at this new thing I can suddenly do. It's something that bothers me. And I understand that this is not the same for everyone else. There's a lot of people out there who are just like, it's a game. Just let me level up and enjoy it. That's okay too. But I go to tabletop RPGs because it's a unique style of RPG game that has narrative progression and is a very personal experience. And for my personal experience, I want the game to feel more like an earned narrative. Something that the players are actively working towards and working stuff out. If you want some examples of games that do this, Deadlands, the original Deadlands, did this very well. At the end of every game, you got so many like poker chips that represented like your character's points that you could save for rerolls and stuff to keep your character alive, or expend to improve your character stats. So at the end of the session, everything that you did in this session would earn you so many poker chips, and there were not many like standard chips that were given out every session. There are, but they're just not that common. And honestly, that can just be done away with by the GM. And again, I know I said it's not the point that the GM has to do it, but whatever. It's a thing of that it felt organic because the experience could be instantly applied. But on top of that, Deadlands also had a rule where the marshal or the GM could say, no, you can't level that up. Your character hasn't used it. The marshal can dictate that the players can level up or not based on how often they use the rule. And again, this isn't just, oh, the GM can do it. This was written into the rules. This was something that the game said. And that's what I'm upset about, is not enough games tell GMs to do this kind of stuff to make it organic. And in fact, in some games like D&D 5e, Pathfinder 2e, all those standard kind of level up style games, the players can feel like they're not getting something for their level, and it feels more like a bad thing when they level up because some things are being restricted to them than it does feel like a good thing that things are being done for them in a narratively organic way. So, you know, I really hate how games just don't give progression the love and attention that it really needs to make the experience really good. Make your players feel like their growth is something they've earned and is something that they have worked towards. Make it feel like it's something that they have done correctly in the game, not just by playing the game and being there and getting level ups, you know what I mean? And not to say that I can't play the games or I actively hate it when it happens in the games, don't get me wrong. It's more that there's some moments I find that I get pulled out of the experience because my character even levels up and gets something that I wasn't even prepping to give them. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times I take my character's level ups into consideration, and I kind of like make moves and decisions that make it so that they narratively make sense, but not always. Sometimes I get features that just blindside me, or I just wasn't even thinking about. I'm like, oh, how do I now have this new ability? Especially like ancestry feats in Pathfinder 2e. Like, we had an automaton in one of our games recently that just suddenly became large, and it was robot puberty, even though, you know, that's just the kind of, I'm not bashing the player for their playstyle. It's just narratively breaking. It breaks my immersion because it's like, oh, how am I going to justify my character being okay with it? Fortunately, I'm playing a character who's very just like, whatever, you know, as long as it doesn't bother him, he's okay with it. But there are other characters. I've had characters ruined because the immersion was broken so badly, I couldn't justify how the character could come to terms with it. And maybe that's just because I'm a little too hardcore. Maybe that's just I take the narrative too much into consideration to properly enjoy the fact that it's just a game. But I don't feel like that's necessary. I feel like games can make progression feel organic. I feel like games can make your narrative fit in actual gameplay. In fact, I believe the best type of tabletop is one that purely blends game mechanics with narrative. And I know it's possible because I see aspects of it in all kinds of games. There are some games that are really good at blending in mechanics and gameplay. Heck, Pathfinder 2e, one of the reasons why I fell in love with it so much is because a lot of the mechanics feel like they make sense and add things to certain scenes. The fact that pulling something out of your backpack takes extra actions over pulling things out of your pouch means that the act of getting something out of your backpack is much more involved and makes a lot more sense. No one ever does it because of that horrible action economy, but it's the idea that if you were to do it that way, that would happen. That really stimulates the idea that the game is really blending in together. And there's all kinds of other examples I could give, but I really wish games made progression more organic narratively for characters. And not only that, but maybe it's also because I'm just a progression junkie, but I just want games where my character's constantly getting better. It doesn't have to be a lot. Just the idea, I like games that I can kind of grind to get some skills up, and you don't have to make it grindy. You can just make it where they organically get skills up in a way that is timed so it feels good. And I like games like that. Deadlands is another example of it's like 1 to 2 sessions you increase something that feels really good. In D&D, level ups can sometimes take forever with how the XP goes up. And in Pathfinder, sometimes you get too much XP and you level up so quickly that it's hard to narratively justify the sudden increases over the course of a journey, especially the way we do XP, because I like giving out XP out like candy. It just makes the players feel good and it makes me feel good. And obviously I could adjust that, sure. But I'm just saying it's because it's a level up system that it feels so bad, because you get a lot when you level up. And it's not just like a thing here, a thing there. I like constant improvement. So I don't want to be throttled by the game, but nor do I want the game to give me too much that I can't really, like, I want my progression to feel earned. That's the big thing, I think. That's, I think, the biggest reason. I want my progression to be the things that I pursue and wish to improve on my character. I think that's the best part of narratives in general. Watching a character strive to be good at something or to accomplish something they set their minds to. And tabletop games in general don't really have emphasis on that drive for self-improvement for characters. It's more on the story and what characters can do in the moment, rather than what the characters are working towards in the future. So this is all kind of just like, this is a discussion video. This is me just talking about the things that I'm interested in, and talking about tabletop theory because I love tabletop games. It's my hobby. It's something that I heavily invest in, emotionally. And I want the game to have better feedback for players like me who enjoy that the unique things that tabletop offers to games in general. So if you agree with me or disagree with me, I guess you'll let me know in the comments. Either way, I'm glad to bring this out to y'all, and hopefully this kind of content does well, because I'd like to do more discussion videos like this. So if that's a good idea, I guess let me know. But with that, thank you all so much for watching. Good luck with your games. Leave the bad luck to me, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.